Shuklambaradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasannavanam Dhyayet Sarvavighnopashantaye. Om. Dear friends, welcome to the Geeta. We were seeing the shloka number 30 of the third chapter, that is Karma Yoga. And in this third chapter again, in this shloka number 30 again, we saw that in the earlier three shlokas, Krishna was talking about the Prakriti, the three gunas, that is Sattva-guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna, which have transformed into the body-mind complex of all the beings, of all the living beings and of all the things which are there in the universe, both sentient and insentient. And then, what are you supposed to do? A wise man, of course, a wise man knows what is reality, and a wise man is not getting attached to them. But what about an ordinary man? So Krishna is telling Arjuna, you are not in that level of enlightenment. You are still in the practicing level. You are still in that probation level, let us say. In that probation level, you have to do your karma with that Ishwararpana Buddhi. So yesterday I told you what is that Ishwararpana Buddhi. I need not repeat because we had several sessions on this Ishwararpana Buddhi. And with that Ishwararpana Buddhi, by reducing your ego means not arrogance. I am not talking about arrogance. Reducing your ego means gradual thinning down of the notion of I, that no, I am performing, I am the doer. So that thing you have to gradually reduce. And a realized person means a person whose ego has totally dissolved in that supreme reality, in that awareness of the self as Brahman. So here, Nirmamo Bhutva Yudhyasva Vigatajvaraha. This line I wanted to tell. Yesterday we didn't have time. Yudhyasva, this word Yudhyasva has come even earlier. In second chapter, that is Sankhya Yoga, shloka number 20, Yudhyasva, Tasmad Yudhyasva Bharata. And people can misinterpret. People nowadays, there are so many people, there are so many intellectuals, all types of intellectuals who want to read all types of meanings, leaving out the overall context of Gita. So Yudhyasva there, the commentators have explained, Krishna is not goading Arjuna to go for war. It was Arjuna who had prepared himself for war. Arjuna had gone to Krishna to seek his help, and Krishna, like Duryodhana, Arjuna also went. Duryodhana and Arjuna went simultaneously, and Duryodhana picked up the entire army and happily went away. Arjuna said, no, I don't want the army, I want just you. You also need not fight. You need not fight. Of course, he himself says, I will not fight. Okay, you need not fight, you just be with me. So that is what Arjuna said. So Arjuna was a man who had prepared for war. And somewhere in the middle, he forgot about his dharma. And then he talked about, okay, I want to do Bhikshatanam, I want to adopt this dharma. Bhikshatanam, in those days, it was the duty of a Brahmana. Bhikshatanam was not the duty of a Kshatriya. Kshatriya's duty was to preserve the order in the society, social order. And even now, of course, even now the army, they should not say, no, we don't want to touch the weapon, etc. They can't say. So Arjuna's duty was that. So Krishna is just reminding him of his duty. Arjuna is, there again the commentators had written, Nahi atra yuddha kartavyata vidhiyate. That was the comment in that line. Second chapter, 20th shloka, the comment was, Nahi atra yuddha kartavyata vidhiyate. That Krishna is not actually mandating, he is not saying, yeah, you have to jolly well do yuddha. Not like that. He is only reminding. You have forgotten your duty. So that is it. And he is trying to remove that delusion. Krishna is trying to remove the delusion which is standing in the path of Arjuna performing his duty. That's all. Removing the delusion is what Krishna is doing. So here we have to take the meaning in the same way. So Vigata Jvaraha means devoid of any jvara. What is this jvara? Jvara means anxiety. Jvaram we usually refer it to fever. It is not fever here. That is anxiety. Any type of anxiety or worry or this dukkam, sorrow, let us say. Sorrow is as a result of ignorance. Vedanta says sorrow is as a result of improper understanding of yourself in the totality of this entire universe. In the entire totality of the universe, what are you? You understand your role. You understand your role with reference to the ultimate reality. When you understand your role with reference to that supreme reality, then you will not have in this sorrow. So that is what they say. So dukkham nama prajnaparada eva. There is a statement. Dukkham is prajnaparada. It is a mistaken thing. Understanding, wrong understanding is only leading to results. Once you understand the human nature, once you understand your own the nature about your own self, you will not grieve. That is ahankara rahita yuddham. If you are doing war, you go to war without having that identification with that, I want to kill the enemy, etc. You do your best. If you are doing your business, you do your best. If you are doing something else, you do your best. So that is the reason why karma yoga is something which enhances the ability of any person in any field. If a person is a doctor who is doing karma yoga, who is practicing karma yoga, he will be a better doctor. An engineer will be a better engineer. A bureaucrat will be a better bureaucrat. A fighter will be a better fighter, provided he understands this karma yoga properly and does this with that Ishwararpana buddhi. So then yudhyasva vigatajvaraha. So that is the meaning of this shloka. Then Krishna, the next two shlokas, he says, okay, people who follow my advice, they will really succeed, and those people who do not follow my advice, they will not succeed, they will perish. So the next two shlokas are very simple shlokas. I will just read and explain overall meaning. The next shloka, that is 31st shloka, it says, ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto anasuyanto muchyante tepi karmabhihi. That is, he says, though even those who perform this karma yoga, they will also attain some higher result. That is, karma yoga, you should not ignore karma yoga. Karma yoga, you should not ignore it as somewhat an inferior thing. Karma yoga is actually leading to the purification of mind, which is the essential prerequisite for the next stage, that is jnana prapti. So here he says, ye means those who may matam means my, whatever I am suggesting now, nityam anutishtanti. Those who practice this karma yoga, who constantly practice my teaching, what I am teaching now, and with what attitude? Shraddhavantaha anasuyantaha. Shraddha and anasuya. Anasuya is not the female. Anasuya is the name of the wife of a great rishi. So we are not talking about that. Shraddhavantaha. Shraddha. This word technical. This Shraddha is also a technical word in Vedanta. In fact, there is a definition also for that. Guru Vedanta Vakyeshu Vishwasaha Shraddha. That is a person who has come to the study of the scripture, who has come to study, for example, Upanishad or Geeta, he should have some implicit faith, he should have some implicit trust. Because Geeta, though it is not a belief system, we have to understand this point. Geeta is different from a belief system. A religious text is a question of belief. Yes, God said this. Yes, God said this. You have to believe in that. But here it is not like that. There is a questioning at every step. There is a questioning. If you read Vedanta texts, there is so much of Purvapaksha and Siddhanta. Purvapaksha means the other person argues, why this, why not this. So for every question he has to answer. So there is so much of discussion, debate and all that. And this is basically a philosophical exercise. So here, but the student who comes totally a fresh student, what is he supposed to do? He should have some implicit faith. Yes, this path is leading me somewhere. So with that implicit faith, he has to first of all understand. Then once he understands, then he can question. Once he understands something a little bit, then he can question. So he says, Shraddhavantaha, with some little bit of willingness to follow. Suppose somebody says, okay, this particular road leads to such and such a place. So you trust him and at least go to some extent, and then see if it is not working, you can come back. So that is what is Shraddha. At least trust, initially at least you trust and then move forward. Trust and move forward so that you will see the result. If you see the result, okay, go ahead. If you don't see the result, come back. So Shraddhavantaha, Anasuyantaha. Anasuya. Asuya means in Sanskrit, Asuya in Telugu we say jealousy. In Telugu we use the word in a totally different sense, because Sanskrit words, when they come into regional languages, they may change the meaning. For example, Sanskrit words in Kannada they may mean something, in Telugu they may mean something. So for example, this word Asuya in Telugu, in the Telugu region, we use it in the sense of jealousy. But in Sanskrit, asuya does not mean jealousy. That is guneshu doshavishkaranam. That is finding fault. When a person is really having some good qualities, the other man is trying to find fault in all the good qualities. A person who is highly virtuous, so this man will say, oh, this is all hypocritical. A person who is doing something, who is generously giving to people, oh, this is all for show, it is all for show, it is all for publicity. He is not really a good man. So, guneshu doshavishkaranam. He tries to find fault in every good quality of the other person. So, that is what is asuya in Sanskrit. Anasuya means devoid of that. A person who does not have that aptitude or attitude, or not aptitude, attitude for that asuya, not the fault finding attitude. So, that is what is anasuya. So, a person who has to follow this path with some spirit of willingness. So, those people, they will get the good result. Muchyante tepi karmabhihi. That is, those people also, in course of time, they will elevate themselves to the path of knowledge, and then they will be freed from this karma and karma phala. Muchyante tepi karmabhihi. Then the next question is, and the Shraddha. Shraddha, of course, I think I have explained enough. Shraddha in various contexts. The next shloka says, those who do not follow my advice, naturally those who do not follow my advice, so they will lose in all ways. That is what Krishna is going to say. That is 32nd shloka. Ye tvetad abhyasuyanto nanutishtanti me matam sarvajnana vimudhanstan vidhi nashtana chetasah. Ye tu means on the other hand, like we got that word letter tu earlier also. On the other hand, earlier he said those who have some Shraddha. Now, on the other hand, those who do not have Shraddha, abhyasuyantaha means those who are finding fault with all these things. Sarvajnana vimudhanstan vidhi. You know that they have lost everything. Krishna is very confidently saying, they are the people who are the losers. They are the losers. If they don't listen, what can I do? If they listen, they will prosper. If they don't listen, they will lose. In what sense? In the sense that they will be transmigrating. It is not as though they are the losers means they will go to hell or something like that. So, the highest goal is to elevate oneself to that level of realization. That is getting rid of this cycle of samsara. Samsara, the word samsara in Sanskrit means samsaranam. The root sarati. Sarati means moves. Samsarati means it moves in a circle. Samsarati. That is, it moves in a circle. Birth, death, birth, death, birth, death. It goes like a cycle. That is what is samsara. The cycle of birth and death, as we say. So, samsara, getting rid of this samsara, or getting away from this cycle of birth and death is the highest goal. So, these people, they may be having all riches, they may be enjoying, etc., etc., but they will again be born, they will again undergo all these things, and then again they will continue to be like that. They will never realize their nature. So, in that sense, they are nashta. Nashta means they are the lost people. L-O-S-T, lost, not L-A-S-T. They are the people who are lost. That is, they have no knowledge of the self. In that sense, they are lost. Atma jnana vihinaha. That is, the people who do not have that self-knowledge. And in fact, one Upanishad uses a very strong word. Ekecha atmahano jana, it says. Atmahatya dosha. Atmahatya, it says. That is, they are as good as committing a spiritual suicide. Not knowing yourself is as good as committing a spiritual suicide. Ishavasya Upanishad uses a very harsh word for that. Suryanama te lokaha andhena tamasavrutāha. And those people who do not, who go to those lokas, ekecha atmahano janaha, they say. That is, those people who are committing that spiritual suicide in the sense that they are not bothered to know their own self, their own nature. So, in that sense, they are lost. Vidhi nashtan. Krishna is also saying nashta. Nashta means lost. They are lost people. Achetasaha. Achetasaha means people who don't have mind, that is avivekanaha, people who don't have intellect, who are fools. So, Krishna also is using a slightly harsh word, sarvajnana vimudhanstan, sarvajnana. And again this word sarvam, sarvam means Brahma, Vishwam Vishnuhu Vashatkara, the same thing I am repeating. That is, sarvam means everything, means Brahman. That is the meaning given by, that is a commentary given by one ancient writer, commentator. Sarvajnana means, sarvam is Brahma, sarvajnana is Brahmajnana. Brahmajnana vimudhanstan. Those people who are devoid of this Brahmajnana, they are the people who are lost. Then we come to the next subject. The next subject, of course, it is also related to this. It is also related to this. Krishna is going to say in this next shloka that it is very, very difficult to overcome this Prakriti. The Prakriti is so strong. The Prakriti is gunas, the sattva, rajas, tamo, guna. In fact, the word guna means a rope. Gunam also means a component. What we said, it is one of the constituents in nature, I said. Apart from that, guna also means a quality. Guna, ordinary meaning of guna is a quality. What are the gunas of this particular medicine, let us say? That is, what are the properties of this particular medicine? What are the gunas of this particular sweet? So, it is like this, it is like this. So, that is, there is a description of that. So, there is another meaning for that word guna, that is a rope, that which binds. So, these gunas, they are so binding in nature that it is very difficult for a person, even for a jnani, to get over these gunas. So, it takes a long effort to get over these gunas. So, that is what Krishna is saying in the next shloka, that is shloka number 33. Shloka number 33 reads like this: Sadrusham cheshtate swasya prakruter jnanavan api prakrutim yanti bhutani nigrahah kim karishyati. Sadrusham cheshtate swasyaha prakrute sadrusham. That is, every person is guided by his own prakriti or by his own nature. Here again we are referring to the composition of sattva, rajas, tamo guna in a person. Because I was telling you, this composition or combination of sattva, rajas and tamas is not in equal proportion in all the people. If it is all in equal proportion in all the people, then there is no difference between anybody. All the people will be like automatons. They are somewhat like robots. All the people will be like robots. All the people will be eating, drinking, and all the people will be thinking in the same way. So, that will be such a mind controlled situation. It is not something like that. So, every person, the different prakriti is different. The combination of the sattva, rajas and tamo guna is totally different. So, that is the reason why there is so much of diversity in the nature. Somebody is aggressive, somebody is soft, somebody is gentle, somebody is knowledge oriented, somebody is dull, etc., etc. So, swasyaha prakrute sadrusham. That is, every person, he follows his prakriti. That is, prakriti is something which is having some sort of determining effect on the behavior of a particular person. So, this composition of these qualities, this is again leaving, and also this is again making you to go in a particular direction, to act in a particular direction. And when you act in a particular manner, these all your activities, they are also experiences. Whatever action we do, it is also an experience. And these experiences, they also leave some impressions on the mind. And these impressions, they are called samskara. Suppose I interact with a person, and that interaction has left an impression on my mind, and that impression is called a samskara or a vasana. So, all my activities, suppose all through my life I have done all bad things. Suppose I have all through my life, I have done some bad things, harsh things, etc. So, all those harsh things, all those bad vasanas will be in me. And if I want to get rid of all those bad vasanas, I should continue to do some good things, so that over a period of time, all those bad vasanas slowly and slowly they go away and good vasanas will remain. So, this is called vasana kshayam. In fact, there is a book called Jivan Mukti Viveka by the very great saint, that is Vidyaranya Maharshi. So, Vidyaranya Maharshi writes in that there is a very big chapter called Vasana Kshayam. Vasana Kshaya is getting rid of all these bad things. It is like de-addiction. For example, somebody is addicted to drugs, let us say. He is sent to some de-addiction center. So, this Vasana Kshaya chapter, the chapter Vasana Kshayam in that Jivan Mukti Viveka is something like a de-addiction course. It is a course on de-addiction. That is how a person has to get rid of all these vasanas. So, here Prakrutim yanti bhutani means, so this Prakriti is something which is having such an impact. So, even a jnani is affected by that. Then what to talk of? Prakrutim yanti bhutani, nigrahah kim karishyati. All the beings, bhutani means all the beings, they are guided by that Prakriti, guided by all these vasanas and samskaras. If you want to forcibly control something, if you want to nigraha means forcibly control something, how can you do? So, he is posing a question, and he is answering in the next shloka. We will see this 33, shloka number 33 again, because there is something more we have to talk about that, and then we will go to the next shloka. We will do it tomorrow. Harihi Om Tat Sat.